Hi, I'm Christian Brindle, and welcome to the Everything Medicare Podcast. What's up, Everything Medicare Podcast Nation? This is Christian Brindle. Welcome to another edition of the Everything Medicare Podcast, where every single week I bring you 3 podcast episodes where we discuss your Medicare, your Medicaid, your Social Security, and everything that has to do with that golden age called retirement. If you're unfamiliar with me and my work, I've published 2 books on the topic of Medicare. I own an organization called Christian Brindle Insurance Services that's located in Utah, and we work with people in 5 different states on their Medicare health plan. We're always adding more states to that list. We partner with all of the largest insurance companies in the industry to help people find the best available plan or situation based on their specific needs and preferences, okay? And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for investing in your own education to making sure that you're getting every drop that you can out of your Medicare. Folks, we are deep into the enrollment period now, and there's a chance you've either made your decisions or your changes for your particular plans going into next year. Any change that you make during the Medicare enrollment period on Medicare Advantage plans or Part D prescription drug plans don't take effect until the first of the year. So, and of course we have a deadline that goes from now, today, as I speak, to December 7th on when you can make these particular changes, okay? These changes also impact you if you want to change from a Medicare supplement plan over to a Medicare Advantage, or if you want to change vice versa from a Medicare Advantage plan over to original Medicare and take a Medicare supplement with a drug plan, all right? So, today, folks, we're talking about something that I've talked about before on this podcast, but I don't think it's necessarily such a bad idea to remind you about. And that is, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of websites on the web today that are designed to capture your information and sell it to phone solicitors. And what do you need to necessarily watch for in order to prevent these things from happening? I mean, any single person that's ever filled out a survey online or something along those lines is doing so because they think by putting down their information, they're going to be taken to a different page on the website to which they'll be able to see the answers to every question that they possibly have. It's nonsense thinking. There's very few sites you can potentially go to that actually show you information like that if they're trying to collect your information. It's obvious what they're trying to do. They're trying to get your information so that they can stash it away, and then from that point, they're going to either sell it to somebody to try to call and sell you something, or maybe not just one person, maybe multiple people. You're not going to get the information you thought in the way that you thought, okay? Now, if you understand this, and you don't mind someone calling you because you feel like that person might be able to answer questions for you, be my guest. But be careful. They're basically just selling it to the highest bidder. They're not exactly checking to make sure that the person calling you is legit. Right? Now, could you get someone good calling you? Yeah. Could you get someone absolutely awful calling you that doesn't know jack about what you're asking about? Yes. Yes, you can. So how do you determine how to get in touch with somebody good? Let's say you want to work with a broker, because that's the person that's going to be calling you, a broker. How do you know? Let's start out by using an example and telling a story, okay? Let's say there's someone named James, okay? James is surfing the web. James doesn't have an agent. James is on some terrible plan that he can't stand, and his mission this enrollment period is to change to something better. But James doesn't know what's good. James doesn't know what's available in his particular market. So James goes on the internet, right? That's where you can find the answers to everything. Everything except for Medicare, that is. Unless you're listening to this podcast, because we give more free Medicare information away than anybody else on earth. In my opinion. I'm a biased party. I'm going to be the first to say it. But I digress, okay, folks? So James, right? James is surfing the internet. James comes across a website that says, see Medicare quotes. Right? We've all seen this. If you've ever been on the internet looking for Medicare information, that's probably how you found this podcast. But see Medicare information. I got one of these on my own website. You're putting your information down, and then the website collects it in the form of what they call in the sales industry as a lead. Okay? And a lead is defined as an interested party in a person's product or service. I have it on my website because how else are interested people supposed to let me know that they're interested? But I make it very apparent what you're doing, that either me or someone from my organization will be contacting you if you put in the information. A lot of these websites don't do that. They're very deceitful. They lie. I've seen some of them to where you don't even know it's about Medicare. You know, some people think it's about cookie discounts. I really had somebody one time tell me that they filled out a survey because it was a website that had to do with Girl Scout cookie discounts. I'm not even kidding you here. Girl Scout cookie discounts. And then they got calls from people about Medicare because of that specific website. I wish I knew which website that was. Oh my gosh, would I love to do like a YouTube video to expose that website, have someone call me. And then put them on speakerphone on the video. Oh my God, would I love that. But I think there's some kind of law against that about recording someone on the phone without their knowledge. I mean, I guess I could let them know, just so you know you're being recorded or anything like that, but then they probably wouldn't do their normal shtick. I don't know. But anyway, that's what he said. I don't know if he maybe was on a different website and he was on a Medicare website earlier and he forgot. I don't know, but if that is the case, that is really, really slimy. That is as deceitful as they get. So some of them are not as forthcoming as others. My website's pretty forthcoming. My website is pretty clear. My website says, if you fill this out, we will get in touch with you. Period. Point blank. Don't fill it out if you don't want to call. If you do anyway, there's something wrong with you. Right? Now, a lot of these websites have that in the fine print, to where unless you're reading all this little fine print disclosure garbage nonsense, you're not going to know. But it's still there, right? So they're not lying. They're not really necessarily, I mean, they kind of are. It's kind of like with a commercial, you see a commercial for a certain medication, and then they're like, oh, this medication is so fantastic. This medication saved my life. This medication did this. The medication did that. There's this, 2-3 minute long, testimonial, whatever. And then at the very end, there's some guy speaking 1,000 miles a minute. This medication can also cause ulcer bleeding, bleeding in the ears, deafness, blindness, muteness. It can cause you to have a heart attack. Blah, 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 and he's going 100 miles an hour, quickly just reading off the disclosures. It's kind of like that. It's not illegal, I suppose, but it might be considered unethical because you're trying to just put it in as quickly and hard to grasp as possible, all the negative side effects you could get on this particular medication. That's how some of these websites are. They make it seem like you're going to see information on what you want to see, but what you're really signing up for is a phone call from Joe Blow. Right? So anyway, we're talking about James. James goes on a website, sees one of these things. I got off topic there. James fills out his information. They want his birthday. They want his zip code. They want his name. They want his email. And they want his phone number. They might want his address. Some of them might want that even. They want a bunch of information about you. So, James pushes submit because he thinks he's going to be taken to another page, see a bunch of information. And then there's a confirmation page that says, thank you, we'll be in touch. James says, damn it! Damn it! That's what James says. Because that's not what he was thinking he was signing up for. Now he knows what's going to happen. His phone starts ringing and ringing and ringing. And depending on the website he was on, this website could possibly be selling his information to 10, 15, 20, maybe even 100 different insurance brokers. And they're all calling him at once. His phone blows up. I knew somebody that canceled their phone number. They disconnected it, right? Because the phone would not stop ringing, and it was over the course of years, just nonstop, because they filled out a survey or two on the internet. And some of these websites, will sell the information just to one person, but a lot of them won't. And so how can you avoid that? What can you look for? Well, let's take a break and hear from this week's sponsor, Randy W. Hall, the Mr. Nice Guy Medicare Advisor. After we hear from Randy, I'll be back in segment 2 after we take a break, and I'll tell you what you need to look for to avoid these things. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? This is actually Randy W. Hall, Mr. Nice Guy Medicare Advisor, not Christian Brindle, your esteemed host. I'm here to tell you about my Medicare agency, Mr. Nice Guy Medicare Advisor, based here in Tennessee. For the past 10 years, I've been helping Medicare beneficiaries just like you in Tennessee and Kentucky maximize their Medicare. If you're a regular listener of this podcast, you know Christian always encourages you to deal with a broker in your state who sells all the different plans and will give you not just a quote, but also advise you and educate you in a way that is simple to understand. We know how confusing and overwhelming the whole process can be. We do it all for folks on Medicare, from supplements to advantage plans, Part D, cancer products, hospital indemnities, and more. So if you want to get a free quote or a consultation, I urge you to call 615-578-5174. Again, that's area code 615-578-5174. Or for more information, you can visit my website and read all about me at MrNiceGuyMedicareAdvisor.com. That's all one word, MrNiceGuyMedicareAdvisor.com. And again, why deal with a jerk when you can deal with a nice guy?
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with me all the way into segment 2 of this week's, I'll never get out of the habit of saying that, will I? Of today's Everything Medicare Podcast. Obviously, we do 3 a week, so it's not this week's. I think technically it is, but not the proper terminology. Hope you enjoyed that message from Randy W. Hall, the Mr. Nice Guy Medicare Advisor. He works with people in Tennessee and Kentucky. Give him a call if you're in those 2 states. He'd love to help you. He's qualified to help you. He can make sure you're on the best plan for you this enrollment period. This is the time of year to do it, folks. 'Tis the season to making sure you're on the best Medicare plan. They don't make a greeting card for that. It wouldn't necessarily jingle as well, but maybe I'll make a greeting card. 'Tis the season to making sure you got your Medicare in order. Isn't that a tongue twister? Isn't that a mouthful? So, folks, this is what you need to look for, in my opinion, to make sure that you're not going to have your phone blown up and you have to disconnect your phone number to get away from it. In some instances, if the people can't get a hold of you by phone, sometimes they'll just come to your door. So you might have people coming to your door. You'll certainly get stuff in the mail. You'll certainly get phone calls till the end of time. And a lot of times what these websites will do is they might sell your information to maybe 1 or 2 people up front, locally in your area, or they might be, in Jamaica or something, who knows. But they sell your information to a couple of people. But sometimes what they'll do is they'll sell them to other people 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road, maybe even 5 years or more down the road. So there's constantly new people in the equation getting your information because you agreed to be contacted on the website. So this is what you need to look for. If there's fine print, read it. If it's multiple pages, don't fill out the survey. No one has time for that. If there's multiple pages of fine print, you don't know what the hell you're agreeing to. Sorry. The insurance industry doesn't like me saying things like that. I've had a lot of people, lash out at me. And, the insurance industry folks, they look at me as I'm controversial. I'm a controversial figure. I'll say anything. I just don't care, There's no telling what I'll say on a podcast. There's no telling. I'm as authentic and honest as they come as far as my opinions and kind of what you need to look out for. And The industry doesn't necessarily like that. Am I right about everything? Probably not. But is there truth to everything I say? You better believe it. You better freaking believe it. And if that makes me controversial because I'm not afraid to speak the truth and as the way I see it, from my experience in this industry, working with people, the people I've worked with, then so be it. I'm controversial. I'd rather be controversial and tell the truth and be entertaining than be politically correct and lie to your face, or your ear, I should say, because you're listening to me with your ears, and be boring. Boring never got anybody anywhere, now did it? This is what you need to look out for, okay? This is what you need to make sure of. Like I said just now, read the fine print if there's fine print. Read the fine print. I mean, is there a better way than filling out something online? Yeah, I think so, because you don't know where your information's going. You really don't. I mean, if you want to avoid this, there's no cookie cutter solution to, filling out your information on a good website opposed to a bad website. They're pretty much all the same. I mean, some are more slippery than others, no question about it, like that Girl Scout cookie website we talked about. I wish I knew which website that was. Oh, I would have a field day with that organization. What a bunch of, oh my gosh, what a bunch of scumbags. If that really is the case, if that really is real, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so I can't say, but that would be just wonderfully hilarious to me. Okay, I mean, I'm sure there's some compliance issues there. I'm sure there's some legalities to that. Miscommunication, false advertising, whatever. But if I ever find it, I will do a YouTube video about it, I promise. I mean, we should look for it. We really should. If you've ever seen anything like this, or have you ever seen any of these ridiculous ones that just gotcha, email me a link to it, christianb@xmission.com. Christian, Christian, B's and boy, at xmission, mission.com. christianb@xmission.com. Send it to me. I will do a YouTube video exposing them if they're bad enough. I will. I mean, it's out of control sometimes, and you see them on Facebook too. It's no different than commercials. Commercials were doing it before the internet was, to where, they were getting away with murder, I'd say. Just saying, there's new plans available in your area, and they'd run a commercial back in June when there's no new plans that come out in June for the type of plans they're advertising. They're advertising Medicare Advantage plans usually. Joe Namath and all those people, Joe Namath's getting a big paycheck. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He has no idea. He just says, all right, you're going to pay me $1 million, $5 million, $10 million to run this, to read this script about how great this Medicare program is that I don't use myself? Sure. Where do I sign up? That's where Joe Namath is in this. I mean, he's not endorsing anything. They're paying him a bunch of money to speak on the commercial. I mean, don't be naive. That's another thing. Don't be naive. Be careful with the commercials you see. Be careful with the internet ads you see. Because a lot of them aren't telling the whole story, or they're completely just flat out dishonest. Not all of them, but they are. So what I would say is, there's really no cookie cutter way to keep people from calling you when you fill out your name on a website. I would say don't fill out your name on a website. Talk to your friends. Talk to your family members. Do they have a good broker they're working with? Can you find somebody online that you can get a feel for? I mean, people have worked with us due to this podcast. We have had people that wanted to do business with us because they heard the podcast and they listened to 20, 30, 40 episodes, and they kind of get an idea of what I'm all about and what our organization's all about. And organizations that are transparent, that put themselves out there, that are willing to put out content for you to be able to just learn as much as you can about the company and how they do business and what their core beliefs are, that's a good company for you to work with, in my opinion, because they have nothing to hide. Our company has nothing to hide. Our company will put out everything. I will put myself out there in the most intimate way possible, in the form of just talking to you 3 times a week about a topic that you probably need to know about if you're on Medicare. So I would say, try to find a good broker by either doing your homework online. Another thing is, if you're recommended by a broker to somebody and you can't find them on the internet, they don't have a website. They don't have any reviews. They don't have anything you can find to kind of back up their credibility. There's a problem there. I had someone that was referred to us during this enrollment period, actually. And this person specifically made it known to me that he was referred by one of his friends to another local broker here that I've never heard of this person. But like I said, 90% of agents, I've said it in the past, come and go. They're in and out of the business. So there's constantly new brokers in here that, nobody knows who they are. So it doesn't surprise me I don't know who this person. But anyway, they were referred by one person to this other broker that I don't know who they are. And then another friend of theirs referred them to me, a person that's worked with me for years. So this guy was smart, in my opinion. He goes on the internet and Googles the first person's name. Can't find anything. Can't find any information about the quote-unquote company that probably doesn't exist. Can't find any information on the person whatsoever. Not a phone number, nothing. The only thing he has is a card. That's sketchy if you ask me. Who is this person? Why don't they have any information online? Then he Googles me. Christian Brindle. He sees all types of information about my website, my Facebook page, the podcast, my books, just pages and pages and pages of information to back up who I am, my credibility, my experiences, everything that I've done. Tons of reviews on our Facebook pages, Google pages of satisfied clients that have worked with us over the years. There's a track record. You go on our website. Our website's littered with reviews from different clients that worked with us over the years. So instead of putting your information in a website, maybe ask your friends and family to recommend somebody that they've worked with that's worked out well. Now, if they just signed them up for the plan, they haven't talked to them since, and that was 5 years ago, don't call that person. You want someone that's going to take care of you long term, keep you updated on changes, and be there for you. Don't go anywhere, folks. Let's take a break. Let's hear from our sponsor, and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with me all the way through our third and final segment. And in a nutshell, folks, just be smart. Use your common sense when you're making a decision to work with somebody. Make sure that they have credibility, folks. Credibility can be found online in 2019. The internet is a great tool for establishing who's real and who's not real, from exposing the people that are fake. Stay away from the people that are fake, because chances are you'll be in a situation where you're working with someone that's a broker that is like most other brokers who don't take the time of day to take care of you or return your phone calls or be there for you. I actually had a meeting with someone today that was a new customer of ours, and he said that broke my heart. His current agent signed him up 2 years ago. Has never called him once, never heard from him once, or his office, or even gotten anything in the mail, not a birthday card, Christmas card, nothing. And he didn't like his plan anymore. Kind of went down the toilet. So he calls this guy to try to get it with him on, his changes. The guy kind of rushes him off the phone, but he makes an appointment to come see him. And the guy never shows up. You can be in that situation if you want, or you can work with someone that's going to be professional and is going to take the time of day for you. And if they're not taking care of you, chances are they won't be in the business after a 3-year period. 90+% of brokers are out of the insurance industry in 3 years. Make sure you're working with someone that's going to stick around. It's vital. Because if they're out of the business, they're not going to take care of you. You're on an island at that point. You're on your own. Thank you so much, folks, for sticking with me. Shameless plug. As always, folks, if this is the Medicare enrollment period, this is the time period for you to make sure you're getting your Medicare right for 2020. Me and my organization are licensed and appointed with some of the biggest insurance companies in the world in the states of Utah, Texas, Idaho, Oregon, and Florida. Again, that's Utah, Texas, Idaho, Oregon, and Florida. Those are the 5 states we're licensed and appointed to work with you and give you assistance with your Medicare health plan. Our office number is 801-255-5340, 801-255-5340. Call me. I'd love to talk with you. You can talk to me directly. You won't talk to just somebody that works here at the office. You'll talk to me directly. Thank you, folks, for listening. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Until next time, and next time will be Monday, take care. Thanks for listening.